This morning, we're highlighting a program that's giving back to the families of those who served our country. Michigan Screen and Window, once again launching its Windows for Widows campaign. It provides a free home window replacement package to a deserving widow of a U.S. military veteran. Joining us this morning is Ryan Daly with Michigan Screen and Window. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us in.
Of course. All right, let's talk about the program. I know I just kind of gave a little bit of a rundown, but tell us all about the program.
Yeah, so we're super excited about it. It's Windows for Widows, and it's basically our way of giving back to the local community. We can't help everyone, but we can help someone.
Yeah.
And we know windows really well, so we want to bless a military widow with a window package at no cost to them and take care of their needs.
Yeah, and sometimes those can be really expensive, especially, for somebody who unfortunately may have lost somebody. So it might be really expensive for that person.
Yeah, a lot of times something you can't do on your own, right?
Yeah.
You need that a little bit of help. Now, tell us a little bit about the history of this program.
Yeah, so this will be our third year running the program, and it started off with just, we'll throw ideas around in the office, and we're seeing what rhymed with windows, windows, and then I was like, well, what if? What if we just did it?
Yeah.
What if we just helped someone in need, and then we just did it.
Well, very cool. Over the years, how has this program given back to people in our community?
Yeah, so like I said, this will be our third year. So the last couple of years we've done it, and just to see the impact on these ladies' lives and the fact that they were in a tough spot where the windows weren't in a good condition, they were unsafe and cold during the winter months. This has really blessed them and taken care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, this isn't just about the windows, right? It has a much bigger meaning to it and purpose behind it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the purpose for us was we install windows for a living, and for our team, they get to be a part of something that's more meaningful, that impacts our community in a real way. It's not just talk, but it's action, and that's, I think that makes the biggest difference is when people take action.
Yeah, we know our Matt Gard, who's now our sports director, has been doing these stories over the last couple of years. Last year, you guys gave windows to a widow. Tell us about that story, if you don't mind, if you could kind of give us, that experience of doing that.
Yeah, so our team went out, and there was a widow in Muskegon, and we went and looked at her windows, and they were in horrendous condition. She had lost her husband many years ago. He was a veteran, and she was taking care of her children that were in their mid-50s. So she was in a really tough spot, and we came in, and she could not believe it. Like when I say she couldn't believe it, she thought it was a scam to begin with, and we were like, no, this is for real. And she's been writing us letters for like 6-8 months since.
Wow.
And so she was just blessed, and we were lucky to do that for her.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Who's eligible? How do they sign up?
Yeah, so we are looking for nominations here in West Michigan, the greater West Michigan area, we would say. The nominations need to come in before June 12th, and it's basically a military widow. If you know someone that's a military widow that's in need of windows and you'd love to see them blessed, I'd say nominate them. You can go to michiganscreen.com/hero, and that's how you nominate them.
Yeah, and I saw the big button right on the homepage there. As you type that address in, it's like right there, you can't miss it. And then you kind of like enter all the information in there. So go and nominate somebody if you know somebody who might be in need. And for those people who might have, in horrendous shape, windows that are in bad shape, how would you describe the difference of having bad windows versus having good windows, just so people at home can have some perspective on that?
Yeah, so I think it's the kind of thing where people normalize putting a blanket on every night in the winter because it's just permanently drafty in their home. And then all of a sudden, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a very real impact. And then the safety dynamic for us is like, it's for a 70-year-old woman, like she shouldn't have broken windows that don't close properly. So it's both heat and then safety, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when will we find out who's nominated and who gets the windows this time around?
Yeah, so we'll do stuff on our social media. And,
Okay.
I don't know how quickly after June 12th, but that's when we'll pick, is that week following, and we'll announce it. And we'll make sure that we film it and people are made aware.
All right, perfect. Well, let's put that information back up on the screen so you can see it if you want to nominate somebody. Of course, this is going on until June 12th. You can nominate somebody at michiganscreen.com/hero. Ryan, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming in and talking about this great program with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.